Hello everyone, welcome to our live lessons. Today, our live lesson will be on clear texture gels. We will learn more about clear texture gels. And our theme for today, we will go through a mermaid series. So with this, we will go ahead and need to combine our mermaid chrome. These are mermaid chrome, and mermaid chrome come in 8 different colors. This is a different bundle color of mermaid chrome. It include periwinkle, blue, teal, green, yellow, orange, pink, and rose. This will be the background color of 8 different mermaid chrome. At in the top is over black colors, and in the middle is over white background colors, and in the bottom is over nude colors. So now let's start with our first design. But before we start, I want to go ahead and explain through what is clear texture gels. Clear texture gel, it is an embossed gel, and one of its special ability is its no cell level ability. So when you use this to draw embossed lines that are close together, what it does is that it doesn't blend together, and it doesn't run neither, because it loves to stay put. That is what clear texture gel is. And because it's clear, it have an ability to build. So you can build it as thick as possible, and you will not have any issue on wrinkling, any curing issue. It will cure solid all the way through. That is one of its ability. Another one of clear texture gel ability is you can engrave it. Because it's no cell level, when you take an engraver and draw a line through it, what happens is the line, it will not blend back together. Unlike your typical gel, when you make a line, it will blend back right away. So engraving is another ability that clear texture gel have. Another one of clear texture gel ability is the ability to adhere chrome powders. You can apply any brand of chrome powder on top of clear texture gels, and it will stick to it right away. Another ability that clear texture gel have is the ability to work with caviar bead, because it loves to stay put. As if you have past experience with caviar bead, you will know that when you apply this on, it tends to move on you, especially when you draw an intricate line, and when you beat through it, it tends to move. Clear texture gel doesn't do that, because clear texture gel doesn't run. So this is a heaven for beading. As you can see here, when I start my beading process, the bead just stays still exactly where it is. And that is a huge benefit for bedazzling and working with crystal art, working with bead art. So these are 4 major abilities that clear texture gel have. Now, I want to start playing with our first chrome colors. So this is all 8 different color of mermaid chrome that we have. Our first color will be periwinkles. So this is my first design. So I call this design a mermaid fin effect. And as you can see here, I built this up really high. And today we will learn how to do that, how to build such intricate volume with clear texture gels. Let's start on the first fingers. So I have with me a finger that I already pre-ombre. This is an ombre that I did with my art gel that I mixed into a periwinkle colors, and I ombre with black. So this is the gel ombre technique that I will present next week. Now what I did is I have painted a layer of nude, and I make sure that I buff that layer of nude out and then go ahead and do my ombre. So when it's come time to apply all the chrome on top, it will not stick on my nude. So this is a precaution for you. Now we are going to go ahead and take out a chrome based top coat and apply over the tips. I'm gonna run along the surface right here. And then make sure that my tip is covered well. This chrome base is a soft gel, by the way. So it's adhere chrome very good. I'm gonna cure this for 60 seconds. Then I will take out my mermaid chrome. This will be my next step right here, is to apply mermaid chrome on, and my color is periwinkles. I'm gonna put it right here. Then I will use a lint roller to take off my old colors. Now mermaid chrome is very similar to unicorn chrome, except for it is loose powders. Now unicorn chrome that we have are solid chrome, so it's less messy. So the con of this chrome is it's a little messy if you're not careful, but the pro of this is it's very vivid on top of white polish, especially on top of white polish. And it's come in more spectrum of colors, and it's very good when you applied it on little crack and crevices like this. Let me show you. Like these in here, you will need some loose powder. It's very easy to apply in. So I'm gonna take this periwinkle mermaid chrome and apply a layer over the tips. It will instantly transform it. And the name is Periwinkle. So on top of dark background, you will see a beautiful blue kind of mixing with lavenders. And on top of white background, you will still see the blue, but you also have a lime layers and tints of lavenders also. And then on top of nude, it look more like lavenders. It look more purples. So this is a spectrum of periwinkles. I'm gonna apply it on here. Now after I apply this, I take my fluffy and dust it thoroughly. Then I am going to start to play with clear texture gels. I'm going to take out clear texture gels. Then for this effect, I will use my pointy brush. So this is my pointy brush right here. I'm gonna take it out. And have a paper towel underneath me. So for us to build this, there is 2 different steps. I will go to the step because when you look at this, it might look very difficult to do. But after I explain the step, you will find that it's very, very easy. I'm gonna break it down to 2 steps. Step number 1 is a slip layer, and step number 2 is a build layer. So I am going to do the slip layer first. I am going to take out a art palette right here. Take just a little bit of gels and apply over the top like this. And I'm stroking it just to make sure that I have minimum amount of gel on my brush, and I am going to draw a line all the way through. So a good way to look at a slip layer is like sketching, because right now it's not building yet, but I see a smooth fluid line. So I do not kill this. My second step, I will perform a build layer. So I will take more gel out, and I touch the surface of the slip layer gently, and I flow through like this. So my brush did not touch in the nail surface. I'm floating through the air. Just like this. And because of the slip layer underneath, it will help guide my gel out very smoothly. Hardly any effort and hardly any pressure. I am going to cure this in the machine for just a few seconds, just to make it freeze, so I can continue with the next step. But when I'm killing this, I'm gonna explain for you why I might have to break it down into 2 different steps. If you don't draw your slip layer first and you going in with a thick amount of gel, it's gonna be very hard for you to draw a smooth, nice line. Most likely, your line will be inconsistent. There will be big part, there will be small part. It's not gonna be very attractive. So that is why I sketch first and then I build after, because you don't want to be sketching and building at the same time. It's almost impossible even for me to produce a nice smooth fluid line like this. So again, I am going to stroke out my brush so I have minimum amount of gel on the surface, and I am going to flow through this line to create my slip layer. At this point, with not a lot of gel on the surface, it will be very easy for you to paint it a line. Now, it is time for you to build, so take a lot of gels and you just touch in the surface and flow through. So my brush never touches the surface. No pressure. That's the way I have a nice solid thin line. Keep this for just a few seconds. Now, after 2 layers of embossed gels, you are now no longer need the slip layer. Why is that? Because right now, if you take a big amount of gels and you touch in the surface of the top of this line, all it is stuck to the top of the line, because what around it is all the way down. So you're not gonna touch what are the nude or the tip at all. You're just gonna touch the top. So now you can actually skip the slip layers. But you can only do it if your line is high enough like this. See how high it is? So now you just touching the top. So you only need one step now, is building. Cure in between a couple of times and continue to build. You can build this as high as possible, as much as you want. All the way through. Only touch the top. Remember that. Only touching the top. And this is one of my favorite patterns too, the mermaid fin. And it seemed impossible to do when you first lay eye on it. But with proper instruction, and you have to follow my proper step, it will be very, very easy to do. Now I have with me another nail. They're identical. I'm gonna see. I probably need a few more. So continue touching and guiding the top. This can be very intimidating for most people. But as I say, as long as you know what you're doing, you're in good hand. Cure this. And when I cure, I only flash cure just for a few seconds, just enough that the gel will stay there for you. It will not move anywhere. There, cure. And you can use it to make fin, you can use it to make wings, you can use it to make wave. The possibility is endless. This is technique number 1 that we're gonna play with mermaid chrome, periwinkles. One more. And we should cut it good. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna full cure it for 60 seconds. And after we full cure it for 60 seconds, we are going to start rubbing on chrome. Okay, now let's cure this for 60 seconds. And then after it cure, I am going to rub on chrome. So I'm gonna close this. Put my palette on the side. Then I am going to again take out my Periwinkle Mermaid Chrome. With the shadow applicators. Okay, now let's take this out. With chrome, I prefer taking a little piece of papers and chroming it on top so it doesn't make my table dusty. Now, chrome this. From the underneath side, look how amazing this is. Look how texturized this is. And completely solid, you guys. No wrinkle problem. Make sure that you dust it from the inside too. Dustin, how is my angle?
It's pretty good.
Good. Alright, after I rub it all the way through, I am going to take the fluffy and dust this from the inside and from the underneath. And as I want to remind you one more time that this live is an organized lesson. Every explanation will be in this. Therefore, to prevent confusion for our students that will watch it later on, we will not be answer to any comment, and we will not be answer to any question in the middle of our process. All right, now, after I have done this all the way through, I am going to take out matted. This is our matte top coat, and I am going to apply on the nail bed. And it's okay if a little bit of matte top coat stuck on to the chrome layers. That's perfectly fine, and in fact, it's very healthy for it. Cure this for 6 seconds in LED light. Now I'm going to close the mat. I then will take out my shiny. This will be applied over the chrome part on the tips and on the fin. Get this out. Now, I am going to take shiny and first apply on the inner part. And right now, you can see that this is matte right here, which is actually very healthy because now I know that it's already been sealed. So, I can feel safely apply shine on it, and I know that this whole part is sealed. It will not be chipping up. So now, I'm worrying about this underneath side right here. And before I take this top coat and cover the tip, one more thing. If your client have chipping problem with chrome, before you apply shine, make sure you apply one layer of sticky, because sticky is a base. You apply on top of the tip here for 60 seconds. Then you can go ahead and cover it with top coat. That is one of the little tricks I will give you to prevent chipping problems. Apply all over the tips. Make sure that you cap your edge well. Stiletto or square tips, doing the same thing. Cap the edge well. Now, cure it for 60 seconds, and this will be the end of our first colors. Periwinkles. And for the crystal, for this, I choose ⴨ crystal line just to honor the ⴨ pattern of the gels. So this is our Periwinkle Mermaid Chrome demonstration using our clear texture effect gels. Now we will move on to the next colors. The next colors is Blue Mermaid Chrome. For Blue Mermaid Chrome, one of the techniques that I want to teach you is the sway technique. This one right here is an electric wave that I did. Same thing on here. So this time, instead of building what I would do is engrave. And again, what I have with me is a nail that I already pre-planned with ombre, which will be the next week lesson is gel ombre. Now what I have done is I have prepped first with a nude surface, all nude, and then I buffed this just to prevent chrome from sticking on the surface right after it's done. As you can see here, when I put chrome on this, it will not stick onto this nude. Now what I did is I use art gel to make a sway line and then paint the whole tips with white gels polish. And then I sugar it and then I put black ombre on this. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take matted. And remember, on here it's not matte. On here is actually shine that I already buffed. I am going to take matted and apply on the tip, and the purpose for this is just to make it nice and smooth for me to carry on with my next step. And make sure that I wipe up excess gel on top of my bottles, then go over the side just to remove excess gel. That is my trick to make sure that the side and the top, the tip right here is nice and thin so it doesn't go out of shape. Cure this for 60 seconds on UV light. So most of the time when I paint on the side, most people would think that I paint extra gel on the side, but what I'm actually do is removing gel. Now the next chrome that we use is this guy right here, blue mermaid chrome. Take it out. Look at these vivid colors. Blue mermaid chrome on top of black. This is what you get, an electric blue and a deep ultramarine tone from both sides. On top of white, you will get still an aqua tone, as you can see here, but you also will get a pink tone and a lime tone on the base. And on top of nude, what you see here is a nude with a little bit of blush on the base and electric blue shade right here, electric blue tone. Now it's already matte, it's nice and smooth. And the reason why is my ombre process give me a texture surface. So that's why I put matte on to make sure it's nice and smooth. So if your surface is already nice and smooth, you do not have to go over it with matte top coat. Now I am going to take out again my clear texture gels. Then I am going to use a flat brush right here to apply clear texture gels. Whip up a layers, then apply it to just only the tips. This product is fairly new, almost a year now that we have it. I love using this product to create texturizing effects because it is completely solid. It's even harder than acrylic itself. Apply on smoothly. and give it a generous layers. Now I am going to use the edge of my brush and run through very carefully. And I forgot to mention that you can also use it with crystal also. Since it's harder than acrylic, it holds crystal very well. Before I start, I am going to take a spatula and run on both sides just to make sure that I keep my shape. Now, what I am going to do is take a 10 millimeters or a 7 millimeters. So either way, it's up to you. And what you basically want to do is you want to remove gel by applying the brush right on and put pressure on it and run through it. So it creates a little engraved pattern like this. I'm gonna do it again and again. And make sure that in every stroke that you make, you wipe it on the paper towel first before you continue with the next line, because you are not painting the nail, you are actually removing. So you have to make sure that excess gel is gone before you start it again. And another thing that I like to do is I like to put the paper towel right here. So I hold my client fingers. Then I remove the pattern and then wipe it. So that could be a little faster for you. Now, why I'm doing this, I want to point out one thing to you. If you use clear texture gel and removing gel like this, engraving it, as I said, and if it doesn't stay still, if it blend back together, at that moment, you need to stop what you do immediately, and you need to take your bottle out and you need to stir it up. Cure this for 60 seconds. So if the gel blend back together, it doesn't stay, the line that you engrave doesn't stay, you need to take this out, and then you take your spatula, put it in, and you stir it, and make sure that you go slowly like this to prevent air bubble. You're still gonna have some air bubble, but you are safe. If you have a lot of air bubble, you are still going to be safe, because when you stroke this gel out, the air bubble will disappear. And you can even twist it like this. And what you're actually doing is blend the non-cell level ingredient back together. Because if your engraved line blend back together, it is the result of products separating from stagnation, from you not using the gel enough. If you let it sit for too long, it will start separating. And at that point, you still cannot hear crystal with it, but what it does is the non-cell leveling part is sink down to the bottom and it will start solidifying. Plus, your clear texture gel, when it dry, it will not be as shiny. So it's very healthy for you to mix it like this if you don't use it enough. So now when I take it out, I am going to start to rub chrome on it, and I take out my blue mermaid chrome. Make sure with the lint rollers, I take off my excess layer of Periwinkle chrome. Now I'm gonna start using blue mermaid chrome. And again, I need a paper towel on top of it to keep my table nice and clean. These are my favorite thing to do, is using technique that utilize only product. Because as much as I draw in portrait and I draw in cartoon, it's actually not my favorite. Even though I'm good at drawing, I prefer things that doesn't require people to draw. I prefer things that only require technique knowledge and utilize product entirely to create beautiful special effect. Now that doesn't require any effort at all. It doesn't require any handwork at all. It's only require full understanding of the product you use. Now, how am I going to secure this? Is I am going to take matted and I'm applying on just the nude. And again, as I mentioned, it's very healthy if you run over the chrome line a little bit. You don't have to cover all of it, but just a little bit, just to make sure that you know that this part is sealed. Because if not, if this part is staying nice and shiny, when you put top coat on, it's gonna be very hard for you to see where the top coat already on and where the top coat haven't been on yet on shiny surface. So on the boundary right here, I'm stepping over the line just a little bit, just to make sure that that boundary line where the shiny chrome is turned matte a little bit, so I know that it's safe. Now I'm gonna glow my blue mermaid chrome. I am going to take out shine it and apply on the tips. You see the boundary line is matte now. That means that it's already have top coat on. I know that it's safe now. Nice and sealed. So I don't have to look that hard. All I need to do is stroke it over the lines and cover it completely with top coat. Just like this. And remember guys, cap in the edge, and seal in the edge. And of course, don't forget, if your client have chip and chrome issue, always use sticky first, cure, and then put top coat on. Now, cure it for 60 seconds. Now I can't wait to show you the next colors, because we are going to play with teals. 3 more seconds. And the way I bedazzle it, it's just like the ring fingers. So that is our blue mermaid chrome, plain with clear texture gels. Now I'm gonna put it back. And the next color that we are going to use is teal mermaid chrome. And we are going to draw fish scale pattern. So still a form of engraving, but this time with a hard tools, the engraving tool that we know about. Now, this is the next color that we are using, teals. And for teals, on black, it has a nice emerald layers. and of course blue and ultramarine on each side. And then on white you see a beautiful teal colors and pink base. And then on nude you see a little blush on the nude, and of course emerald tone right here. So that is what we're gonna use next to do a mermaid scale engraving pattern. Now I'm gonna take out my nails. Over here, I already prepped out an invert V-tip that I already ombre it. I put nude on, and then I put pigment base on, which we will learn later. Then I use color pigment to blend black, blue, lighter blue, and aqua together. So this ombre tip is made entirely out pigment. So I am going to take a buffer now and buff it, and the reason is I want everything to be chrome free, so chrome doesn't stick on anywhere that I don't want it to stick on. So let's buff this surface to make sure that it's entirely chrome free. Now, from here, doing the same thing, buff it all. And on the tips, you don't have to buff as much because it's gonna be gel on it. But on the nude, you need to buff it very thoroughly so chrome doesn't stick on it. I am so excited, you guys, to share this lesson directly on our highlight. So anytime that you wonder what clear texture gel do, all you need to do is to click on Volcano and check out our highlight, and it will be right there. And this would not be the last live that we do on clear texture gel. It's just that this live is the Mermaid series, so we're playing with Mermaid Chrome. But there will be more series on clear texture gel, like the Dragon series, the Phoenix series. Alright, now what I am going to do is take out again my clear texture gels. Opened it, nicely mixed. Now, if you want to make sure that these lines are nice and crisp, you take out a 10mm brush first and run along. Run along here too. Therefore, it's nice and crisp at the edge. Now, I will take out again my flat brush and apply a layer of clear texture gel on top. Now, it don't have to be thin, but the thinner it is, the easier it is for you. But thicker, you have to play with a more proper timing. No more than 5 minutes. Because after all, it's still a gel and it still can blend back over a long period of time. If you let it sit there for about a day, it will be flush, nice and smooth again. But you're not going to take 24 hours to do it now. So the layer that I put on is a moderate layer, since there's going to be fish scale involved, so it's a little more difficult for me, which I will perform. And this time I need my engraving tools. This is a tool that I'm using, the engraving tool. And the reason why it will be a little challenging, because these are not abstract pattern, these are structure pattern, which require you to be quite precise and quite good with your tools. And how you can be good with your tool is, remember that it's a hard object. If you lay your tool on it and run along, you need light pressures, because if you press too hard, it will cause shaking, and you don't want that. Engrave my fish scale. See how cool it is? Just stay there. Now, when I run along, this is my previous engraving line right here. When I'm running along here, I don't come in completely, because that will push wet gel into my previous line. So from here, I go out. That will be a good way to do it, so it doesn't push wet gel into my line that I already engraved. You go out, you don't go in. Again, going in and stop right here, and then from the engraving line, you going out. That will be the best way to draw a mermaid scale, and will be a very nice design for you to practice on your hand stability. Remember, always push it out. And this will be the only clear builder gel that will allow you to do this, because most builder gels is built for cell leveling. So the moment you engrave in it like this, it will start to blend out immediately. And it will be impossible for you to make pattern like this. And if you might ask, why am I not using black or white texture effect gels? Which, if you're my customer, you know that I have those. One is solid black and one is solid white. The reason why I use clear texture gels is because my background is colorful. If I use black or white, it will cover all the color immediately. So black and white, I only use it if it's only black background or only white background for other chroming purpose, like solid chrome or stained glass gels. But over here, for me to keep this nice rainbow aqua blend background, I decide to use only clear texture gel, so it will show through all the color in the background. I'm close to the finish line, and that you can see here, all my details are still here. And remember, you guys, don't forget that if your gel ever blend back together before you finish, know that it needs to be mixed, and you have to mix it. You have to stir it up to make sure all the ingredient is blend again. And it's very important for most gel for you to stir it up once in a while, because again, these are very special product which I have add extra ingredient in it for it to be able to do this. So remember, you can't let the ingredient or special ingredient separate. Now let it dry, and we rub on our teal mermaid chrome. And sorry if I sound like a robot, because it's my first organizing live, so I'm actually very nervous. I do not want to leave out any extra detail for you guys, because this live will not be repeated again. I want to make sure that all details are included on here from start to finish, so you guys doesn't mix out any detail. And at the end of the live, I might offer a question and answer just to make sure that I clear out all confusion. But that will be at the end of the live, because sometimes questions tend to be random, and something that I answered 10 minutes ago, new people going in live and they ask it at the wrong time. And so our viewer will be very confused later on. So this will be my best way to make sure that it's organized, and when you watch it, it's informative and it's not confusing. Look at how beautiful this is, you guys. Dust it off. Of course, you can make any kind of pattern with this. See, and people will question you, how do you do engraving pattern like this? What kind of gel do you use? What kind of sticker you use? And it only can be achieved with clear texture gels. Now put matte top coat on just a nude, and remember what I said. It's very healthy if you accidentally have some matte onto the chrome also, to ensure that these boundaries right here are nice and sealed. Kiss it for 60 seconds. Now I shall close my Teal Mermaid Chrome. Now I will use Shine It, and do you see the matte right here? So later on, when I paint it shiny, because if this part is shiny with no matte, no top coat, when I seal it, I have to make sure that I look very closely to make sure that it's sealed all the way to the edge. But right now I don't have to, because it's already sealed with matte. I can see it because it's matte. I can see it very clearly. So now all I need to do is blindly take top coat and smudge it on, because now I know that my edge is already sealed. It's nice and safe. I no longer need to be careful to watch close enough. All I need to do is put some shine top coat on and apply all over the tips. And remember, always cap the edge right here, and the edge right here, and the edge right here, which if your client loves to scratch, especially near mosquito season, then they will slowly blend out the edge and the cap part would disappear and the chrome will chip from the edge. So make sure that if the client have chipping problem, make sure you put on sticky first, here for 60 seconds, then put on top coat. Here this. But if you are a press-on artist and you sell press-on, there is no need to use sticky to prevent chrome from chipping, because chrome will not chip, because nobody really take their nails, especially press-on nail, and trying to scratch. I mean, certain people do, a very small numbers, but if you scratch with press-on nail, most likely it will pop up right away. And for this bedazzlement, I choose the one that identical to the ring fingers. And that is our blue mermaid chrome. Now, the next chrome that I will be using is our green mermaid chrome. I'm gonna take out my green mermaid chrome. Look how beautiful this is. For green mermaid chrome, on top of black, you will get a nice green colors, and of course, aqua blue on each side. And on white, again, a nice light green color, way different than the teal colors. And inside, you will get a more of a fuchsia pink instead of a hot pink like the teals. And then on nude, again, the green will be way lighter than this, more like a golden lime green. And the nude will have a nice fuchsia blush layers on the base. My chosen design will be a mermaid pattern. I love this pattern. It's one of my favorites. Now, with this, my nail is already pre-ombre, and of course, black and white ombre will be also a part of next week's lesson. Is gel ombre. So I already pre-ombre this. Now what I do is I take out sanded. Actually, I'm sorry. I take out chrome base. I use chrome base instead of sanded to adhere chrome because sanded is a hot gel. It will have more difficult problem to adhere chrome than chrome base. Chrome base is a super soft gel, so it can adhere chrome very, very well. I apply chrome base all over this black and white ombre nails. Make it smooth. You see the texture before and the texture now. It's way different. Now I am going to go ahead and cure this for 60 seconds on LED or UV lights. And if your light doesn't have 60 seconds, then what you can do is choose the strongest timing on your light. Assuming that you have a quality lamp. Now after that done, I am going to go ahead and take mermaid chrome out, green mermaid chrome, and apply all over the nail. Make sure I have a paper towel underneath the client's hands so it doesn't get messy. And remember you guys that this chrome right here, strictly for gel product, remember that, do not use with polish. You can, but it wouldn't be nice and shine. Now, I am going to go ahead and open the lid. Again, taking out my applicators. A lint roller, and go ahead and take off excess teal applicators. Now, taking the green out, rub it on. Look how different it is over the black versus with the white. Mermaid chrome have more spectrum than unicorn chrome. We have 8 colors instead of just 5 colors. A little more messy than unicorn chrome since it's not pressed, but it also have its pro. It can get into little crevices, especially when you deal with textures. And on top of white, it's more vivid. So do you loose powder or do you press powder? Now you have option. And then now wrapping on small circular motion. One of my favorite things to do after is completely cover. I go again in small circular motion to make sure that everything is adheres. Look how beautiful it is already. Now closing the lid. And that's very truly because if you don't dust your nail thoroughly, what happens is that there will be excess dust floating on top of the surface. And when you will shine it on, what happens is all that dust, it will flow all the way to the top and make the chrome glittery. And you don't want that. You want your chrome to be nice and smooth. Now, take your shine it out and you will do your first top coat. Here for 60 seconds. After this, I am going to go ahead and use my clear texture gels. And for this effect, I am going to use a 20 millimeters. This is what I am going to use. Make sure I clean it first. And I want to submerge this in. And make sure that it's nice and thin. And what I do is I dip just the head of the brush, not the whole thing, to make sure that it's semi-voluminous. Now with this, I turn my client hand upside down. Then the tip, I touch it lightly, press it just a little bit, and go all the way up. All the way up. Now, I should do the same thing on both sides. I love to do both sides at the same time instead of just one side and then going back, because I love everything to be nice and cohesive. I am overly ecstatic for this organized lesson, and I can't wait to cover all of our unique products with organized lessons. And I am very excited for next week for our gel ombre lesson. I think that a lot of people are still struggling with gel ombre until this day, and I can't wait to share all tips and tricks with you. And of course, we're not just gonna do one style. You know me, I love to cover all diverse styles of ombre. Now from here, I am gonna stop with this right side, and I cover only my left because it's easier for me to pull from left to right than actually twist my hand and pull from right to left. So at this point, I stop on the right side, and I only doing my left. Now, continue on the other side, and it's important for me to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I don't know. 1, and then I look at this side to see if it's cohesive yet. 2, immediately compare my nail to this side. 3, compare. I have 3 more. 4, 5, See how it's thick at the end of the tips? And the reason why not the whole body is at the end of the tip is thick. You smash it down, most of it is gone. Now you drag it out, it'll be nice and thin for you. If you have gel all over the body, then what happens is it'll be thick all the way through, and you don't want that. But you still want to dip your gel completely first. So it's submerged with gel, and then you go ahead and thin it out and only keep a lot of gel, a bulk amount of gel on the tip by dipping it in like this. Puncture it and pour it out just like that. Now go ahead and cure this. 60 seconds in the UV light. Close the lid. Now I want to tell you that if you want to be done with it, you can. And remember that clear texture gel is no wipe, so you can leave it without top coat. However, it will not be at high class as it should have been, even though right now it's very high class. Within a couple of weeks, if the client is rough on it, then they might be able to fade it just a little bit, because this is not a hot exterior shine. This right here can fade just like a typical top coat, and it's not high shine like shined it. So if you have clients that are very rough on surface and they most likely will scratch the surface, what you need to do is to dough it down with acetone and then would shine it on. If you choose to leave it like this, or with a client that are easy on the nail, you can just leave it like this without top coat. But in this nail, what I am going to do is I am going to chrome again on top of the clear texture gel. So take out my green chrome, and of course have to have a paper towel underneath so your chrome doesn't get everywhere on your table. It will affect future design, future step that you can do later on. Then with that, go ahead and apply green unicorn chrome on top of the clear texture gel. Just to demonstrate for you, it's a beauty to adhere chrome because it's no wipe, so it can adhere chrome very well. And when you're done, I love to go back in small rubbing circular motion. Now, remember to dust it very thoroughly, especially for this design because of all the crevices. You want to make sure that the chrome dust is completely free so it doesn't float on top of the surface later when you put top coat on. I'm sure that many of you have that problem when you put top coat on top of chrome. It's all glittery and dusty, so make sure that you dust it thoroughly to prevent that problems. Now we shine it, apply on again. And don't worry that the texture will go away, because when the chrome stay on, then the texture will remain no matter what. Now go ahead and cure this for 60 seconds. So this thumb right here, I do not put on chrome. The index right here, I do not put on chrome. and this ring finger right here, I put on chrome. So the choice is yours. And the way I bedazzle it is exactly like the ring fingers. And that is how we do our green mermaid chrome. So the next design, the next color that I am gonna choose is yellow mermaid chrome. Now I take out my yellow mermaid chrome, and for yellow mermaid chrome, it's offered as 9 golden colors and green on both sides. Then on top of white, still have a nice golden tone, but the base is my favorite base, one of my favorite base. This is a nice periwinkle blue, and it have pinkish base too. And then this right here, nice little blush base, and a little grayish on the base, and nice golden tone. For this, I will play with a repeated pattern of embossed gels, and I will make a heart for it over a nude and white ombre background, covered in yellow mermaid chrome. For this, I already prepare a nude and white gel ombre nails. What I am going to do is take chrome base and apply all over this. Cure for 60 seconds under UV or LED light. After this, I am going to rub yellow mermaid chrome on, so make sure that I prepare paper towel to keep my table from getting messy. And for this, again, I am going to use the 20mm to draw. And if you want, you can always use 10mm if you do a lot of curve, especially small curve. Let's do the 10mm just to show you a different angle of it. Now apply yellow chrome on top the nude. I already see that nice purple base are very attractive, but wait until I go onto the white. This is beautiful, my favorite. Now when I'm done covering the nails, go on with small repeated pattern and make sure that everything is adheres. Then don't forget to dust it thoroughly to make sure that there is no excess chrome dust left on the surface. So when you put top coat on, it will not flow all the way to the surface. There. Close my yellow chrome. Now it is time for me to seal this because this pattern right here, I don't put top coat on. So before I do anything, I have to make sure that this chrome surface is nice and sealed. So I am going to use Shine It. It's a hard top coat. And remember, you guys, if your client have problem with chipping, always put on sticky first. Cure for 60 seconds, then put on Shine It. Square nail is most likely easier to chip than stiletto nails because of excess scratching. And top coat doesn't stick onto chrome, it's only wrapping the chrome. So make sure that you're wrapping the side of the nail very well. Only sticky will stick to chrome because sticky is a base, it's not the top. Cure this. So after it's successfully cured for 60 seconds, I am going to use clear texture gel for emboss. Everything okay?
We'll go on pigment bases, and she's wondering if there's more.
There is more pigment base coming, but not for
Tuesday.
another 3 or 4 weeks. How many pigment base is left?
Like 30.
30? Okay. It might sold out soon, but I already ordered, so it should be shipped here in about 3 weeks. Okay, now you guys, I am gonna take out this, and remember it's already been protected. So I'm gonna flip it over. And actually, I forgot, I'm going to use a 10 millimeters. Okay. Now I am going to draw a heart. Remember, bulk is at the tip of the brush. So when you wipe it on, it's completely gone, and then all that's left is a nice thin layer. So make sure that don't dip your brush in completely, just at the tip of the brush. Of course, you have to submerge the gel to make sure there's gel everywhere, on the bottom and on the tips. But now you're gonna wipe it off to make sure that it's nice and thin, semi-thin. And then you dip the tip in to make sure that the tip have extra gel like this. Now you're gonna wipe all of that on at first, and then you're gonna drag it in, slowly lifting your brush so the line is nice and thin. Look how beautiful and texturizing it is. Again, wipe it in, and then slowly lift the pressure of your brush so it have light pressure. Again, volume it at first, and then slowly lift your brush so you barely touch it. The tip of your brush is barely touching the nails. Again, see that? This last part is very important. The first part are easy, you just whip it on from the side. Now the last part is light pressure, so you barely touch the nail. That is how you have that fine point like that. And going all the way down. Again, one last time for me. There. Now clear all this. Let me take up a little more volume on here. There. Clear. For 60 seconds on UV and LED light. Now close this clear texture shells. Now, this right here, I prefer for just one little stone on top of the cuticle. That's it. So I keep the simplicity. She's like an angel mermaid. So now, the next color that we are going to play is orange. This orange mermaid chrome. We have 3 more colors. And then I'm heading to a casino to eat, not to play. Wow. Now, this is mermaid chrome. Orange. And for orange, this gives me a nice coppery tone. And this right here on top of white, you can see a nice orangey tone right here. And the base also, I love the base. Aqua blue, unlike this is periwinkle blue, this is aqua blue base. Look how beautiful the blue base is. It's almost electrifying. Then on top of nude, you can still see a deeper orange, copper orange tone. And of course, it makes the nude base bluer. You still see a pale aqua base. Now, I take out my nails. I already prepare a nice aura background. And of course, aura ombre also will be included in next week's lessons. What I am going to go after is a nice galaxy layers right here. So it's like a galaxy mermaid look. And for this, I am going to do something special. I am going to use my 3D jelly. And even though this lesson is all about clear texture gel, the use of 3D jelly will teach you what clear texture gel doesn't do. So for nice little blob like this, I prefer to use 3D jelly because 3D jelly is cell-leveling. It's way opposite with clear texture gel because clear texture gel is non-cell-leveling, so they're opposite from each other. Therefore, if you use clear texture gel to do a little blob like this, it will be harder for it to be nice and smooth unless that is a look that you go after. But I want my little blob to be nice and smooth, so I am going to use clear 3D jelly instead. And the technique that I'm going to do is apply chrome base all over the nails. This is a nice black and white outer nails. And next week, gel ombre lesson is not just with sponge, it's also with brush too. As I say, I want to cover all angle of gel ombre so you can study on your free time. Hear this for 60 seconds in UV and LED light. Make sure I have a nice paper towel out so it doesn't make my table messy. Again, I am going to take the lint roller. I need to change my lint rollers. Not doing a very good job at taking it off. There, abstract. Now, I am going to take the shadow applicator and take off the last chrome. Then, take out my already cured outer nails. I am gonna take some orange mermaid chrome and apply all over. You see how beautiful the contrast. When playing with mermaid chrome, I love to play with contrast background, because it brings out the best on both sides. Now, circular motion, small circular motion, always my favorite thing. After the chrome is fully covered on the nail, going back with small circular motion to make sure everything is covered. Now, take my fluffy and dust off thoroughly. Make sure that everything is thoroughly dust off, so excess chrome dust doesn't flow on top of the surface. Now, I do not top coat this. What I do is immediately use 3D jelly. So I'm closing this and I take out 3D jelly again. The reason why I use 3D jelly in a lesson that involves clear texture gel, because I want to show you what clear texture gel don't do, so you can avoid it. Or do if the technique you do is aiming for that specific look, that specific texture. But 3D jelly will give me a nice blob. What I take out right now is my flash clear light, then 3D jelly and pointy brush. I whip this up right here. And if you want to stir up your 3D jelly once in a while, you can. However, it's not as necessary as clear texture gels. Because clear texture gel, you require a very specific ingredient for it to be non-cell level, which is very special compared to moss gel. Now, 3D jelly is very similar to your typical builder gel, except for two special quality. Number one is a quality to adhere chrome, and number two is a quality to bloom. So I am gonna take this, drop it in, and make a nice little twirl. Here immediately. Now I want to show you this very special technique of 3D jelly. When you first put it on, it's still like a dewdrop. And if you cure immediately, it will look very awesome. It will look very dimensional. If you wait a little bit, it will settle down a little bit. At that point, it's still 3D, but not as awesome as when you first put it on and cured it immediately. A little dot right here. 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 If you have bubble on your 3D jelly, you better poke it up with a brush first before you cure, or else you're gonna end up with some bubble right here, like this one. Here. See how voluminous the dewdrop is? Look at that. You wait for a little bit. It's still 3D. It's not as awesome as this. So you want to cure it as fast as possible. That's why I'm using a flash cure. Now, go ahead and put in the light for 60 seconds. After that, we are going to take out a paper towels. And we are going to use some acetone or alcohol. It's up to you. Let's use some alcohol. 70% of alcohol. Put it on a paper towel. And it is a challenge to do all this and make sure the surface remains nice and clean. That will teach you more control. Oop, I have a little spot right here, never mind. Okay, now, cure for 60 seconds. When it's done curing, drop it in, drop it in. And it helps you scrape it a little bit too. This chrome right here stuck very well, as you can see, because this layer is not having secure with top coat, and look how well it's stuck. Mermaid Chrome definitely is the star this month. Yes, going in, make sure to clean it thoroughly. Just like this, all the way on the side. Now, after I clean this, what I want is the background to be matte and these blobs are shiny. So that is the effect that I'm going after this. So remember, if you use clear texture gel, then your blob might not be as smooth as 3D jelly, unless that's what you're going for is an avant-garde kind of blob. But I want to go after a smooth blob, so that's why I use 3D jelly. And the reason why I don't put the blob on first and then chrome it, because the effect will be different. It will be kind of like a solid chrome. This is like a magnifying glass, almost like cat eye-ish, because the bulkier the gel, the more it's magnifying the chrome from below. So I will not put any more chrome on top of this. That will kind of ruin the effect that we're going after. We're going after a magnifying glass kind of look. Now, let it dry thoroughly. Dust it off with a dry paper towels. And as you see here, 3D jelly is still pretty shiny. Even after being rubbed with alcohol, it's still shiny. So the no white ability of 3D jelly and to leave it without top coat is more than clear texture gels. Sometimes you don't even need to put any top coat and still be able to maintain a high shine ability. Now matte it. And it is okay to have some matte stay on the blob. It is okay. Not intentionally, but it's okay. If you want, you can take a smaller pointy brush and go in between. But I don't find the necessary in that, since I am going to end up shining the blob anyway. So make sure everything is matte. Now, cure this for 60 seconds in LED or UV light. Closing my matte. Now I will use my shine it. And if you want, you can take our palette now and distribute shine it on top of a palette. Now I am using pointy brush, and I shall take this and cleanse it first with alcohol. Take this out. Now you dip your pointy brush into top coat. Make sure it's submerged in top coat and then stroke it out. As you can see here, people make this usual mistake by seeing the big blob, so they think, well, then I gotta apply a lot of top coat on this, actually like building top coat. That is a understandable instinct that nail tech have, but you should know that you already finished the building. So when you put top coat on, you only need to brush a thin layer amount on it. That's it. Because if you put too much top coat, then it's gonna run down and get all over the mat, and it will not be as attractive. So remember that all you need to do is dust on a thin layer of top coat, and it'll be nice and shiny again, as you can see here. Cure this for 60 seconds. on UV and LED light. And for embellishments, I choose different 2088 and 2058 round stone in between just to embellish it. And that is the end of our orange chrome. The next color that we play with will be pink mermaid chrome. 2 more to go, you guys. So see, it's a different variety of clear texture gel effect that we do. And remember, I use 3D jelly, but that's still a clear texture gel lesson to teach you what clear texture gel doesn't do. And we also will have many more live with clear texture gel on different series. And this series is Mermaid series. Now, Mermaid Chrome, pink, I'm taking it out. And for pink Mermaid Chrome, on top of black, it gives you a nice sunset pink, way different than Unicorn Chrome. Unicorn Chrome gives you a cooler pink, this is warmer sunset pink. And of course, copper on both sides. Now, on top of white, you can still see a pink, more fresher, and of course, the background I see is a more seafoam green background, kind of close to aqua blue, but it have a little greenish tone on the base. And on the nude, it still have a deeper shade of sunset pink and a slight seafoam tone on the base on top of the nude. And for this, I want to do the drip effect with clear texture gels. So I have the nails already that I'm done with wavy French tips. And what I do, and this is very special, and it will not include in next week's lesson, but in the week before that, is how to ombre with pigment. And in here, my white wavy tip, I have put black pigment ombre on it. And it's very special. It's done with pigment base, but it have a little more extra step. So what I have done is I top coat everything with shine it, and I completely buff it. So now it is chrome free. I am going to use clear texture gel again. And for this, remember our previous lesson to do a nice thick builder line. You need to separate this into 2 steps. Step number 1 is the slip layers. Sure you put it out on a palette and have minimum amount of gel on it so it's nice and thin. And another thing that I want to point out is just because I say minimum amount of gel, don't take a dry brush and just dip in a little bit. No, you have to dip it in completely. Then take a palette and draw roll the brush into the gel so it completely submerged inside the brush too. And in order for you to have minimum amount of gel, you just stroke it out. So remember that. If you just dip a little bit into the gel, what happens is you will run out of gel very fast, and you don't want that. So now, when I'm done with my slip layer, what I do is taking more gels and touching the surface, and I glide on top of the slip layer. And because of the wet gel underneath, it will help me guide the building bulk amount of gel out without any effort. I don't have to put a lot of pressure on it. I just glow and glide lightly over the top, and the slip layer will help me guide it out. Of course, how thick it is up to you. I want to go pretty thick. And remember, this is clear texture gel, so unlike 3D jelly, it would not collapse on you. You can go really, really thick. There. Now I am going to cure this for 60 seconds. Now, what you need to do next is you need to take chrome base because you're about to chrome, and what I am going to do is use chrome base all over the tips. Now, I want you to look at this line. It looked like the gel just come down and start to form in a drip. What I did is I have take gel and I put a lot in this groove right here, so it have this effect. If you don't have a lot of gel in this groove, then it will look more like the thumb where you can see the edge. And I think the beauty here is try to flood the edge so you don't see the edge. And in order to do that, I am going to take chrome base, cover the tip completely, Now, I tell my client to turn the hand over for me. And from this angle, I am adding more gel on here. On just the little groove right here, so it's flooded with gels. And the reason why I tell her to turn her hand over, because this tip right here, I still want it to be nice and thin. I only want this little groove to be filled with gels. And when I'm done, and if you ever have too much gel at the tips, what you can do to make it thinner is that you can take out an ombre brush and you can dust your tip like this. That would thin down the amount of top coat that are on it, on both sides too. Here. You can also keep your client hand upside down and use a flash cure. That will also help. Cure this for 60 seconds in UV light or in LED light. After it's come out, I will use the pink, per Mermaid Chrome to dust all over the tips. this, I am going to remove excess chrome from a lint rollers. Take it out, and I am going to have some paper towels on the surface so it doesn't make my table messy. Take out pink mermaid chrome and go ahead and rub it all over the tips. And when I put on the UV light, I have put in very close to the size of the lamp that this bottom bit right here, as you can see, it did not cure very well. So you can see the difference between nice and shine like glass versus here is more solidish. So if your chrome ever turn out like this, know that it's not cured enough, that you have to cure more for it to be nice and shine just like glass. Rub it all in. Then now I am going to go over and dust off excess chrome dust. See the difference on the bottom right here. So make sure that your good lamp cure all the way 60 seconds. And then if you have to file your nail, do it before you apply top coat on. Now I am going to use Mermaid, apply on the nail bed. Then go ahead and cure in LED light. Close your Mermaid. Now top coat. I'm taking our palette. Then I'm choosing sanded. Apply a little bit on the palette. Then pointy brush. Clean it with alcohol. Submerge a brush into the top coat and stroke it out. Now dust all over the edge to make sure that it's nice and sealed. And remember why I say a little matte on the edge is very healthy. It will ensure you that it's already sealed, so you don't have to worry about it. Without it, sometimes when you do shine like this, if you skip a little bit on the edge, it might chip up on the edge, and you don't want that. Put a little shine it on all over the nails. And then I will use the brush from the bottles. Stroke it down. Remember, if you have problem from chrome chipping, remember to use sticky before you go through this process. Press on artists can skip it. apply all over the edge like this, cap the edge. Cure this. Clone this. And we have one more color left to go. It is rose.
We're all about the bust.
The what?
We're all about the bust.
The bust.
You know, we can't stand this quiet time.
Now, this is my set on pink mermaid chrome. The next color that we are using is rose mermaid chrome. Remember, me not responding to comment is very healthy for replay later, since this live is very important for us to know and understand everything about the product. So it's very important that there will be no distraction. Now, next is rose mermaid chrome. Take it out. For this one, I already have a nice aura nail that I prepare. This time is opposite from the last one. It's white with black aura. Applying this in. Now what I do is to make this surface completely chrome free. A little different than the last technique with this one right here. A little different than this technique. That technique we put in the chrome base on, and then we rub chrome on and then put 3D jelly on. This time it's gonna be different. We're gonna use clear texture gel on this one. So shine it. I apply all over the surface and I shall make it chrome free. Cure this for 60 seconds and I shall buff it so chrome cannot stick on it. What I will do is I will use clear texture gel to make this pattern on the nail, and then I will chrome on top of clear texture gel, which is different than this one because this one I will chrome underneath. This one chrome will be on top. So remember, when you're reviewing it later, make sure you compare the contrast between two techniques. Now I will use the buffer. When you use a buffer, it's good to use a 240 grit buffer. You want it to be nice and fine so it don't leave mark on the surface. Buff the nail thoroughly. Now remember, after this design, we will open for answering questions. And one thing that I want from you is to only ask questions that are relevant to two products. Number one is clear texture gel, and number two is mermaid chrome. Any other question about any other product have to be saved for DM or for other live. like tomorrow life. Today, our question have to be specific. Don't ask me where I'm gonna go eat later. I will not answer that. Don't ask me what am I dressing right now. I will not answer that. It have to be relevant to the product that we are using. Now, completely chrome-free. For beginner that just starting on this technique, one thing that you can do to make sure that the surface is chrome-free by taking out your chrome and dust it on your nail just to make sure that there is no chrome sticking on anywhere. Let's dust this. See the chrome all fly up. Now for example, if a little spot sticking with chrome, what you can do is take the buffer and buff that spot out. And that's it. Then you're done. Now everything will be chrome free. Then you take out, again, clear texture gels. Now I am going to use a not a 10 millimeters. Yes, a 10 millimeters. I'm gonna use a 10 millimeter brush, dip it in to clear texture gels, and I am going to paint it a circle. It don't have to be perfect. And then I am gonna do another circle. And another one here. And another one here. Then I am going to string it out like this. There. String a little bit out from here. Now I am going to take the spatula and clean up the sides. Clean up this side too. Cure this for 60 seconds on LED and UV light. This will be the end of my usage, so I close this, or if you want, you can stir it up first and then close it, so when it stays overnight, it will get rid of all the bubbles. So one last vigorously stir, and remember that if you don't use it enough and don't stir it often, then what happens is over time when it stays stagnant for too long, for like 3 or 4 months, what happens is when it separates, it will solidify. The other non-cell leveling part will solidify, and you'll find a little solid piece right in the bottom. And you don't want that, so make sure you keep it stirred when you use it or after you use it. Close your lid. Take this out, and I am going to go ahead and chrome this. Make sure I have a paper towel underneath me so it doesn't make my table messy. And put on your rose chrome. I love this chrome. I would say that it's one of my favorite is a rose chrome. The color is extremely unique. That's this. Now my rose chrome, it gives me a fuchsia background with copper and green on both sides. And on white, I will have a nice rosy tone, and then blue and purple base right here. And then nude, I will have a pink and orange tone with a golden tone also, and a blue and purple base. So I love this chrome rose. Make sure everything is dust free. Now, what I am going to do is take matted and apply over the white. And you can try to avoid the chrome line, but if you get some on it, it's okay. Just make sure that your mat is minimum so you don't flood it, these details. Now cure this for 60 seconds on LED light. Close my rose mermaid chrome. And I will use sanded. Apply it out on a palette. And I will use pointy brush for this. Now I am going to shine over the details with pointy brush and shine it. And remember, you guys, especially this design, do not have too much top coat. All you need to do is dust it lightly on the pattern, and look how shiny it is. So too much top coat, it will run out of line and it will be less attractive. And as you know, when it's less attractive, it's less money. There. Now cure this. 60-second cure on LED and UV light, and you will be done. Get your question ready.
They finally get
Not
questions?
yet. Not yet. After this, I just tell them to get ready. There. This is Rose Mermaid Chrome. So now we already cover all our chrome. Again, the lesson for today is about clear texture gel. And in and out of clear texture gel, the Mermaid series is what I use for today. And later on, we will have a dragon series with clear texture gel and texture effect gel, black and white. Next week lesson will be an ombre lesson. And today, with the help of clear texture gel, we are using mermaid chrome for look and colors. Our mermaid chrome come in 8 different color bundle, and these are color chart for Mermaid Chrome on black, white in the middle, and nude. And Mermaid Chrome come in periwinkles. It's also come in blue, teals, green, yellow, orange, pink, and rose. And that should be the end of our live lesson on clear texture gels and Mermaid Chrome. And all product will be able to purchase at 꽱ᴜᴜᴜᴜshop. Now, any question? Will you read the question? Is there any question?
They'll be on your screen first.
Okay. Black and white. No bundle for these chrome. The bundle will be able to purchase in about a day or two. Cindy is working on putting it on a website. Okay. Let's see.
How many grams is the chromes?
The chrome come in 5 grams. Do you send to Portugal? We are sending all over the world. Yes, we do ship to Portugal, and we ship to most countries in the world. But why? Yes. A bundle of Mermaid Chrome. Yes, bundle will be available soon. Can you mix chrome color? Yes, you can. You can combine chrome color. Good question. I can take, let me see.
How did you apply the middle of the nail with white pigment?
That is irrelevant because that is an ombre technique. And next Sunday, we will study ombre. And that technique will be on there. That is called an aura ombre technique. You will learn that next week. I can take a blue and mix with yellows. But you see, mixing is not quite necessary with Mermaid Chrome because I make sure that I cover all color in the spectrum. So mixing will be more prone to solid chrome. But for Mermaid Chrome, you pretty much have all color spectrum.
Do you ship to Trinidad? Yes.
Yes, we do ship to Trinidad. And clear texture gel is non-cell level.
Is there a difference between 3D gel and texture gel?
Yes, there is. 3D jelly and clear texture gel is 2 builder type of gels. However, the quality is opposite. 3D jelly is cell level, meaning it smooth out all on its own. And clear texture gel is non-cell level, meaning it stay put. So when I use clear texture gel for emboss, I love to use it at line work, embossed line work that are close together so the line doesn't blend. When I use 3D jelly for emboss, I love to play with big area, especially with encapsulating is one of my favorite since it smooth out on its own. 3D jelly also have an extra ability on blooming. It can bloom any type of gel polish out. Both can adhere chrome and clear texture gels. An ability that it can do is it can be engraved. So if you have a line of gel, if you have like a layer of gel on top of a nail and you take a engraver and you draw a line through it, it will stay there exactly and you will end up with different textures due to carving. So that is the 2 ability that texture gel and 3D jelly have is the opposite from each other's.
Can you use 3D gel like a shine?
3D jelly and clear texture gel, you can leave it without top coat. However, no white abilities is great to adhere chrome. If you choose to go without top coat, remember that the level of shine is just like a typical top coat. It's not like shined, and if you are a big fan of shined, you know that shined is high shine. So if your client is rough on their nail, after a couple of weeks of wearing it without top coat, you can have little scratch on the nail. It can fade a little bit. So if you want it to be super high shine, what you do is you rub it with alcohol or acetone to dull it down very fast, and then you take sand it and again apply it with a pointy brush like what you do on this technique right here. Why does it on? Can you put 3D jelly to put crystal on? For crystal application, I will prefer to use clear texture gel instead of 3D jelly because clear texture gel stay put, so it's perfect for crystal. However, if you choose to do that, you also have to know the sealing process using the crystal sealer pen, because for gel, unlike glue, you cannot depend entirely on it to hold crystal for a long time. You have to know the sealing process to make sure that your stone doesn't come up. Is there a way to make chrome look wet? Yes, there is a way to make chrome look wet. It depends on your base. Now remember that when it comes to adhesion chrome, quality product matter. Besides that, the type of chrome also matter, because there is also cheap chrome that will look very glittery and unsatisfied, and there is also cheap product that will make chrome look glittery and not wet. So make sure that you use proper product for beautiful chrome look. Is there a difference between an outcome of real difference between an outcome of pressed powders and loose powder? There's not much difference between the result of pressed powder and loose powders. There are people that love to use loose powders for fitting in small crevices like this, or for mixing. And then there's people that love to use pressed powder because it's not non-messy and it's safer. So that is based on using reference, but it doesn't affect the result.
Deb would like to know if these gels expire.
These gels do not expire. All right, I think we are reaching to the end of the question. Let me go over a little bit more just to see if I left any question left behind.
Texture gel is non-white?
Yes, they are both non-white for chrome purposes.
So can chrome be turned into watercolor effect if you can make it look wet?
Chrome can be used for water effect, but I tried it once before. I am not pleased with it. For it to be watercolor-like, you need a special kind of ink. So unfortunately, I use chrome. Tried to do that technique before. It's okay. I can show you the step is you would drop chrome on the surface and then you take acetone alcohol. Try to blemish it and to see if you like the result. Can you tell me why I did wrong? Cut chrome base and shined it and it's still glittery. There is two reasons. Reason number one is undercure, and reason number two is not dusting it thoroughly. When chrome stay on to the surface right here, what happened is, if it not been done thoroughly, then there will be excess glitter that floating on the surface. And when you apply top coat over the chrome, seemingly to be shiny and dust-free, what happened is all the excess dust will flow on the surface and it will make it look glittery. So make sure that you dust it thoroughly and make sure that you cure it for 60 seconds. And make sure that you also have my chrome product, because there is different kind of chrome in the market. There's chrome that is not quality, and there is chrome that is quality. So besides those two reasons, make sure you have chrome base and make sure you have my chrome product. All right, let me see if there are any other questions. And Deb say, awesome, but the big 3D jelly fear is going bad. No, it did not go bad and it did not expire. I think that we are at the end. You're welcome. 괚ᴜᴜ for teaching. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you, 괱ᴛʀᴜᴄᴛᴜʀᴇ. Thank you. And I'm sorry if the way that I speak today is very professional and because normally I joke around, but today I keep it very professional and very organized because this live is a very important live. It is a first live that introduces a product truly, and it will get rid of all the issue that you have, and it will give you a very clear understanding of the products. And I am looking forward to have more live like this. I call it a organizing lesson, so it will help us go through all of our product to make sure everyone knows the in and out of our product, because in our normal typical life we use a very wide range of product, and in this life we only use this product, and we only use Mermaid Chrome for coloring, and that to me is very organized and less confusing, especially for beginner. And all of our design today is design that doesn't need drawing skill. All of what you need is a well understanding of product, and just about anyone can accomplish it as long as they follow the step and as long as they understand the product. So live like this are very helpful, especially for beginner, because you don't need drawing skill for this. You only need your product, and you can depend entirely on your product. All right, I think there's no more question left. Now, this live will be saved immediately, and I also will post it onto my story, and I will include it on my story highlight, and I will name it Clear Texture Gels. Now for Mermaid Chrome, I will not include the name on it because Chrome is just coloring, but the star product for today is Clear Texture Gel, so you understand how to use texture gels. And then of course Chrome is helped with the coloring process, and now you know there's 8 different shades of Chrome, and you know what it looks like on black, on nude, and on white. Okay, everyone, I will get up here and I will see you tomorrow on our normal live at 11 a.m. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a good weekend.